Welcome back, guys. Okay, so yesterday we read chapter 2, which was called The Marvellous Plan. Can you remember what the chapter was about? What was this amazing plan of George's? What was he going to do? Let's have a look. Oh, I remember. He said he was going to make a marvellous medicine, and he was going to replace Grandma's medicine with this marvellous medicine, and maybe it would help cure her, or if not, it would make her explode. And then that would say, here we go. Well, it would be terrific, and it'd be exploding shocker for Grandma. He was going to put fireworks under her chair, but he didn't have any. He didn't have any snakes or rats, so he went with making a marvellous medicine. Let's see, on chapter 3, George begins to make the medicine. Now, yesterday I asked you to think about what you would put in your medicine. So let's see if some of the things George puts in his are the same as maybe the things you said you would put in yours. Okay. George took an enormous saucepan out of the cupboard and placed it on the kitchen table. "George!" came a shrill voice from the next room. "What are you doing?" "Nothing, Grandma," he called out. "You needn't think I can't hear you. Just because the door's closed, you're rattling the saucepans." "I'm just tidying the kitchen, Grandma." Then there was silence. George had absolutely no doubts whatsoever how he was going to make his famous medicine. He wasn't going to fool about wondering whether to put a little bit in of this or a little bit of that. He quite simply was going to put in everything he could find. There was no messing about, no hesitation, no wondering whether a particular thing would knock the old girl sideways or not. The rule would be this: whatever he saw, if it was runny, powdery or gooey, it went in. No one had ever made a medicine like that before. If it didn't actually cure Grandma, then it would anyway cause some exciting results, and it would be worth watching. George decided to work his way round the various rooms one at a time to see what they had to offer. He would go first to the bathroom. There was always a lot of funny things in the bathroom, so upstairs he went, carrying the enormous two-handled saucepan before him. In the bathroom he gazed longingly at the famous and dreaded medicine cupboard, but he didn't go near it. It was the only thing in the entire house that he was forbidden to touch. Now, why do you think that the medicine cabinet, which is here, why do you think he was forbidden to touch it? Now, I think, and I'm sure you agree with me, that medicines, things like that, shouldn't really be in the reach of a child. And sometimes children might not know what they are, especially little children. Some medicines might look like things like Smarties, and children might take them and might make them quite poorly. So, although he's making this medicine, he's very sensible, because actually the one place he's not going, which he knows he shouldn't go, he's forbidden to go, is a medicine cabinet. So he's actually been quite sensible there. He had made a solemn promise to his parents about this, and he wasn't going to break them. There were things in there they told him could actually kill a person. Although he was out to give Grandma a pretty fierce mouthful, he didn't really want a dead body on his hands. George put the saucepan on the floor and went to work. So, although George wants to make a marvellous medicine, does he actually really want to hurt his Grandma? It says here that he didn't want to kill a person. He didn't want a dead body. So he wants to cure her because she's not very nice. Maybe he thinks he'll cure her and she'll be nice to him, which will be a nice change. Number 1 was a bottle labelled Golden Gloss Hair Shampoo. He emptied it into the pan. "That ought to wash her tummy nice and clean," he said. He took a full bottle of toothpaste and squeezed out the whole lot in one worm. "Maybe that will brighten up those horrid brown teeth of hers," he said. There was an aerosol can of Superfoam shaving soap belonging to his father. George loved playing with aerosols. He pressed the button and kept his finger on it until there was nothing left. A wonderful mountain of white foam built up in a giant saucepan. With his fingers on it, he scooped out the contents of the jar of vitamin-enriched face cream. In went the small bottle of scarlet nail varnish. If Toothpaste doesn't clean her teeth, George said, then this will paint them red as roses. He found another jar of creamy stuff labelled hair remover. Smear it on your legs, it said, and allow it to remain for 5 minutes. George tipped it all into the saucepan. There was a bottle of yellow stuff inside called Dishworth Famous Dandruff Cure. In it went. There was something called Brilliant for cleaning false teeth. It was a white powder. In that went too. He found another aerosol can. Nevermore Ponking deodorant spray. Guaranteed, it said, to keep away unpleasant body smells for the whole day. She could use plenty of that, George said, as he sprayed the entire can full into the saucepan. Liquid paraffin, the next one was called. It was a big bottle. He hadn't the faintest idea what it did to you, but he poured it in anyway. That, he thought, looking around him, was about all from the bathroom. On his mother's dressing table in the bedroom, George found yet another lovely aerosol can. It was called Helga's Hair Set. Hold 12 inches away from the hair and spray lightly. He squirted the whole lot into the saucepan. He did enjoy squirting in these aerosols. There was bottles of perfume called Flowers of Turnips. It smelled of old cheese. In it went. And in too went a large box of powder. It was called Pink Plaster. There was a power puff on the top, which he threw that in as well, for good luck. He found a couple of lipsticks, and he pulled the greasy red things out of their little cases and added them to the mixture. The bedroom had nothing more to offer, so George carried the enormous saucepan down the stairs and trotted into the laundry room, where the shelves were full of all kinds of household items. The first one he took down was a large box of super white for automatic washing machines. Dirt, it said, will disappear like magic. George didn't know whether Grandma was automatic or not, but she certainly was a dirty old woman. So she'd better have it all, he said, tipping in the whole boxful. Then there was a big tin of Waxwell floor polish. It removes filth and foul messes from your floor and leaves everything shiny and bright, it said. George scooped out the orange-coloured waxy stuff of the tin and plonked it into the pan. So far he's been in, can we remember which rooms he's been in? He started in the bathroom. Then he went to the bedroom. And now he's downstairs in the laundry room, isn't he? So he's been in 3 rooms so far. I wonder where he's going to go next. Where do you think he could go next? There's lots of rooms to go in. There was a round cardboard carton labelled Flea Powder for dogs. Keep well away from the dog food. It said, because this powder will be eaten and it will make the dog explode. Good, said George, pouring it all into the saucepan. He found a box of canary seeds on the shelf. Perhaps it'll make the old bird sing, he said, and it all went in. Next, George explored the box of shoe cleaning materials, brushes, tins and dusters. Well, now, he thought, Grandma's medicine is brown, so my medicine must also be brown. Or she'll smell a rat, which means that she'll discover that he's changed the medicine. The way to colour it, he decided, would be a tin of brown shoe polish. The large tin he chose was labelled dark tan. Splendid! He scooped it out with an old spoon and plonked it into the pan. He would stir it up later. On his way back to the kitchen, George saw a bottle of gin standing on the sideboard. Grandma was very fond of gin. She was even allowed to have a small nip of it every evening. Now he would give her a treat. He would pour the whole bottle in, and he did. Back in the kitchen, George put a huge saucepan on the table and went over to the cupboard that served as a larder. So a larder's like where you keep all your food. So it's not a fridge, it's where you keep maybe your cupboard bits, like your cans and stuff like that. The shelves were bulging with bottles and jars of every sort. He chose the following and emptied them into the sauce, one by one, into the saucepan. a tin of curry powder, a tin of mustard powder, a bottle of extra hot chili sauce, a tin of black peppercorns, a bottle of horseradish sauce. There, he said out loud, that should do it. George, came a screechy voice from the next room. Who are you talking to in there? What are you up to? Nothing, Grandma, absolutely nothing, he called back. Is it time for my medicine yet? No, Grandma, not for about half an hour. Well, just you see you don't forget it. I won't, Grandma, George answered. I promise I won't. So that's the end of that chapter. So at the moment, he's been to lots of rooms inside the house. Can you remember? The first one was the bathroom, then the bedroom, then he went to the laundry room, and then he went to the kitchen. So he's been to 4 rooms inside the house. And do you think Grandma is suspicious? Do you think she knows what he's doing? I would say that she can hear something going on because she's asking what he's doing, but I'm not sure she's that suspicious. He knows he's doing something, but she's not sure what. So that's the end of this chapter. Do you think his medicine is finished, or do you think he's going to add some more stuff in? Well, we'll see next time. The next chapter is called Animal Pills. I wonder if you can think what that might mean is going to happen in the next chapter. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.